I am here to inform you that there is nothing worse on this planet, in my eyes, than a hypocrite. An individual who has no problem with telling you what you should be doing while they themselves are doing something entirely different. Which brings us to today's video, Mr. Ted Cruz speaking in contentious prose regarding California's response to Texas's unlawful redistricting. Now, let's not say unlawful, let's say unfair, right? It's not fair. It's lawful because the people over there who are in power are the ones writing the laws. And because they are the ones writing the laws and passing the laws, lawful is what they say it is. So we can see how what's lawful is also not right or righteous or fair or decent or honorable. The law in the hands of the lawless can be nothing more. But I want us to focus in on Mr. Ted Cruz. Cancun Cruz, spineless Cruz, feckless Cruz is of the opinion that the Democrats are behaving in a constitutionally impermissible way in their efforts to respond to what Texas has done. But don't let me tell you it. Let's take it directly from the spineless, vermiculate snake's mouth.
I agree with you, Mark. If California does this, Texas ought to go back. We can redraw our map to elect all Republicans. If they're going to do that, Gavin Newsom is telling you he doesn't care about democracy. He cares about Democrats being in power. If they're going to do that, we ought to press back. And because the Democrats have been so abusive on this, if Newsom wants to start this arms race, there are a bunch of other Republican states that can redraw their maps. And at the end of the day, we would see a significant increase between 12 and 14 new Republicans in the House if every state starts doing this. So Newsom ought to be really careful about the fights he's picking. I agree with you.
Now, I know I'm on a different planet. I'm on the bizarro planet. However, I must speak truth to power, whether I'm on bizarro planet or on alternative fact land or in an alternate dimension or whatever is going on right now. But I don't know who this works on. And I don't know the mental capacity or brain capacity of the people who fall victim to this type of gaslighting. But it is obvious that it was the Republicans who started this in the first place. Greg Abbott commissioned with just a little bit of pressure, not even pressure, with just an ask from the Trump administration, literally in the middle of the period by law wherein they were allowed to redistrict, to redraw their maps. In the middle of that period, which runs a decade's length, they decidedly chose to, in order to give Trump additional seats that he feels as though he needs, and reading the tea leaves, due to how unfavorable his numbers are, he feels as though, rightfully so, that he needs additional seats in order to retain and hold on to the House and the Senate. In that way, he can continue pushing his right-wing Project 2025 agenda. Without having to be concerned with the belly achings of the proletariat. So it was them who drew first blood. Now that is literally within the communal knowledge. There's no way anybody can legitimately say that they are not aware that it was the Republicans who decidedly chose to redraw their maps and push black and brown representatives who were lawfully elected by their constituents out of office, just redistrict them right out of existence.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, we have talked about the big picture, you and I, for long enough. Let's focus specifically on CD 9 and 18, both of which are in my district in Harris County and Senate District 13. What was your primary reason for reforming CD 18?
Well, the primary purpose for reconfiguring that region was to create a district that performed better for a Republican candidate, and CD9 meets that criteria in the proposed form.
In the proposed form. Mr. Chairman, were you aware before that CD 18 was one of the largest African American congressional districts in the country?
I was aware that CD 18, though vacant now, has previously had African American representation.
And were you aware that CD 18 was one of the largest Democratic boxes in the entire country?
No.
Are you aware that under the current congressional map, Mr. Chairman, that 49.1% of the population in Fort Bend portion of CD 9 is black? And under the new maps, 48% of the Fort Bend portion of CD 18 is now black too.
No, I have not looked at any racial data.
If you look and took existing black population from one district and packed them into an existing black opportunity district, how is that not redistricting based on race?
I'm assured that this map, as currently proposed, does not pack or crack any existing districts.
Mr. Chairman, I want you to know I thoroughly disagree with you because Congressional District 18 is more than packed. Senate District 9 was cracked.
And in response to that, Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, decidedly chose to take the same tack, approved by the ex-president Barack Obama. So you started it. The Republican posture is, and it works. It does work because Democrats have played footsies with white supremacy so long they don't know whose foot is on the others underneath of those covers.
They are not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel.
So I hope this crime bill, when it passes, the Biden-Hatch crime bill, as it becomes law, God willing, I hope that we will have ended, once and for all, this notion that is a hangover from the 60s, that somehow Democrats are weak on crime and Democratic presidents are weak on crime and Republicans are tough on crime. The truth is, every major crime bill since 1976 that's come out of this Congress, every minor crime bill has had the name of the Democratic senator from the state of Delaware, Joe Biden, on that bill, and has had a majority vote of the Democratic members of the United States Senate on the bill.
Those who commit crimes should be punished, and those who commit repeated violent crimes should be told, when you commit a third violent crime, you will be put away and put away for good. 3 strikes and you are out.
I take it you guys know who John Ehrlichman was, right?
No, I don't recognize the name, actually.
He was an advisor to President Nixon. He was part of the Nixon team. He was one of the names responsible for creating the war on drugs under the Nixon administration. And there's this quote from him. The Nixon campaign in 1968 and the Nixon White House after that had 2 enemies, the anti-war left and black people. You understand what I'm saying? We knew we couldn't make it illegal to be either against the war or black, but by getting the public to associate the hippies with marijuana and the blacks with heroin, and then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities. We could arrest their leaders, raid their homes, break up their meetings, and vilify them night after night on the evening news. Did we know we were lying about the drugs? Of course we did.
Why not target the African American community? Why not say then, this is for you, this is for African Americans?
That's not how America works.
And few have been more marginalized and ignored by Washington for as long as Native Americans, our first Americans.
Why not target the African American community? Why not say then, this is for you, this is for African Americans?
That's not how America works.
Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Taking action to stop hate crimes against Asian Americans. President Biden signed the COVID-19 hate crime bill earlier today. The aim of the bill is to make reporting hate crimes easier for people who speak languages other than English at the local and state level.
All the, folks like where that's going, he did call me. He wants to have breakfast with me.
What's taking him so long?
I just said, hey, we need to talk.
You supported him from the...
All right, don't worry, I got you. So you'll start seeing him line up. Isaac.
Don't ask me. I can come smile. I don't have to do no work. Okay? I don't have to do no work systemically, and I'm going to be fine. And guess what? I will always get 38 to 45% of the white vote. If I get 30 to 45% of the white vote, I don't have to get the black vote I got this past election. I win. You got a black city, that's great. You can have all black everything. And guess what? You won't have green nothing. If the white money thinks that you are looking after their they will take their to Prattville, they will take their to Pike Road, and you won't have.
They're all in the same cesspool, but now because their constituents are pushing them very hard to get out there and fight, they have to take, maybe some of it is theater-based, for those old in the long in the tooth representatives and senators.
I was down in Selma, Alabama, several weeks ago, and I had one of the foot soldiers to say to me, I know you hear about voting, but if you don't do something about Putin, there's going to be nothing to vote for. So people see how we have to balance this. Yes, maintain voting rights. Yes, make sure that we get formula for our children, for our babies. Make sure that we get what is necessary to keep democracy moving forward. But you don't sacrifice the democracy over these issues.
Maybe some of it is theater-based. However, they still got to go out and do it, right? They still have to go out and fight. And because they have to go out and fight, because they're getting their marching orders from an ever louder and louder constituency, you have responses like that of Gavin Newsom's coming out and be like, all right, so if you want to do that and you want to redraw your map in order to get 5 seats, I'm going to nullify those 5 seats by redrawing our map so we get 5 seats. So now everything tapers itself out. If you want to behave constitutionally offensive or against notions of fundamental fairness, then I too can engage in the same type of theater, the same type of war, the same type of tactic, political warfare. I can do that too. And now, because they are complaining that they got their efforts thrown back in their laps, they're going to go out here and take the Republican Chitlin circuit and wax poetic about the Democrats not caring about democracy. You voted an insurrectionist back into office. You supported, impliedly so, the release of every last one of the people who are on camera assaulting police officers and attempting to overthrow the government. What are you talking about? What planet are you on? You don't have the right to act as though or as if you are on the side of righteousness, moral, political, social righteousness, when we have you on camera. Like, do you guys forget that this was all on camera? Do you not know that you are in the public sphere, that you are a highly publicized public figure, that your almost every word and deed and act is being recorded, that we can pull up word for word words from your own mouth, revealing the hypocritical stance you are taking nowadays? If a person's principles can shift so easily, then you don't have principles. You don't have morals, and you don't have a spine. You're vermiculate in the way in which you are capable of bending in whichever direction you believe the political winds are blowing in. This isn't a man of morals or courage. And the fact, I remember when I was younger, right? And I'm going to conclude with this, and this goes to Mr. Ted Cruz, Mr. Big Balls, Ted Cruz, right? I remember when I was younger and the Bloods were trying to force me to join their gang. I was much younger at that time, and they were pretty much trying to put the pressure on me. A hit was even put out on me, saying that if I didn't join or bum home, that like I was food. And when I got a chance to meet the man who had put the hit on me, and we were talking, like, I'm not going to run, I'm not going to hide, and I'll take whatever's coming to me. So when my time came and me and this man were in the same presence, and he had a couple of his wolves with him, and we were talking, and like, I respected the fact that you saw whatever you saw in me, trying to get me to go in the direction you were trying to get me to go, but I'm not going to do that. And I explained to him, because the same thing you saw in me, that you identified as strength and you wanted it amongst your number, that's the same thing in me saying that I can't do that. You would kill me if I joined that, because I do have principles. And if you tell me that this is what it's hitting for, and I align my mission statement, my internal mission statement to it, I'm going to want this to be what it says on paper, what we all allegedly agreed to. And because majority of the people agree to it just for the sake of community, but not necessarily an ideological, political directive, I can't be a part of that. That was principle. In a moment where my life was actually in jeopardy, I chose principle. I stood, as they say nowadays, on principle. These politicians like Ted Cruz and any last one of the number who came out in the wake of January 6th and made all these flowery sounding statements against what Trump had done and attempted to do to the American political dynamics here in this country. None of you have principle. None of you have a spine, because you said something that you believed in the moment. And then as soon as that moment passed, you no longer believe in it. Then that's not principle. That means you don't have a belief. That means your belief is to be dictated to you. And if you are going to be a politician, allowing your belief system to be dictated to you, you're no different than one of these influencers, one of these sellout Sambo influencers online that will say whatever they believe their audience wants to hear, because they know that's how their bread and their biscuits are buttered.